From the Western paradise came the Buddha, serene and radiant, summoned to quell the chaos that had seized the heavens. He arrived at the Lingxiao Palace, his golden aura casting long light across jade terraces. The Monkey King, defiant and proud, stood waiting beneath the trembling eaves of heaven's throne. The Buddha looked upon the monkey with eyes that held no fear. He spoke gently, naming himself the venerable Shakyamuni of the Western paradise, and asked the creature why he raged so wildly against the heavenly court. What wild place had borne him? What year had he attained his craft? What fury drove this storm of revolt? Wukong drew himself up, pleased to be asked. He would gladly tell his story. He was no common beast, born of no mortal mother. He was a spirit formed from heaven and earth themselves, an old ape of the mountain of flowers and fruit, who had made his home in the cave of the water curtain. There he had sought out teachers and friends, mastered the great mysteries, learned countless methods of long life, and gained transformations without bound. The mortal world had felt too narrow for his ambition, so he had set his heart upon dwelling in the jade heavens themselves. He would not bend. He would not bow. The Lingxiao throne, Wukong declared, was not meant for one alone. Through all the ages, kings had passed their glory on, dynasty after dynasty. The strong should rule, and he was strong. Was it not the way of heroes to claim what they could win? So let the Jade Emperor yield and be done with it. The Buddha heard this and laughed, a cold and measured sound. He called the monkey a mere creature, a beast barely born into human form, and asked how he dared to covet the Jade Emperor's seat. That sovereign had cultivated through 1,750 kalpas. Each kalpa spanned 129,600 years. Count the years, the Buddha said. Count them, and understand what depth of merit the throne demanded. How could a newborn beast, scarcely worthy of a name, speak such wild words? It was reckless, foolish, a curse upon his own lifespan. Let him repent at once, before worse befell him, and his very nature was lost. Wukong only laughed again. Long life, he said, was no excuse to hold a throne forever. There was an old saying known to every soul beneath heaven. The emperor's seat turns round, and next year it comes to me. Let the Jade Emperor pack his things and move, and hand the palace over. Then peace would reign. If the throne would not be yielded, Wukong warned, he would tear through heaven again and never let it rest. The Buddha asked what skills he had to back such boasts. Wukong grinned. His arts were many. He mastered 72 transformations, lived unaging through 10,000 kalps, and rode the somersault cloud, crossing 108,000 li in a single leap. The Buddha smiled and proposed a wager. If Wukong could leap clear of his right palm with a single somersault, he would be declared the victor. No swords, no armies, no bloodshed. The Jade Emperor would retire to the west, and the heavenly palace would be Wukong's. If he failed, he must descend to the lower world and cultivate for more kalpas before trying again. Wukong heard this and laughed inwardly. What a fool this Tathagata was. A single somersault carried him 108,000 li, and yet the Buddha's palm spanned barely a foot. How could he fail to clear it? He asked at once whether the Buddha truly had the authority to make such a bargain. The Buddha said simply that he did. He stretched forth his right hand, and it lay there, no larger than a lotus leaf. Wukong tucked away his staff, shook himself with divine vigor, and with one great leap landed upon the Buddha's palm. He cried out, "I am gone," and away he flew, a streak of cloud light, formless and unseen. The Buddha watched with his wisdom eye and saw the Monkey King spinning forward like a windmill, ceaseless and relentless. On Wukong flew, until suddenly 5 great pillars of flesh-red hue rose before him, holding up a billow of blue-green air. Here, he thought, was the very edge of the world, the journey's end. If he turned back now, Wukong reasoned, the Tathagata himself would testify that the Lingxiao throne belonged to him. But first he would leave a mark, some proof to show the Buddha. He plucked one hair, breathed a mortal breath upon it, and cried, "Change." The hair became a writing brush of dark ink. With the brush he scrawled a bold line upon the middle pillar. The great sage equal to heaven passed this way. Then, not content with mere ink, he turned to the first pillar and, in true monkey fashion, relieved himself at its base. Satisfied with his handiwork, he kicked off the cloud and raced back. Wukong landed again upon the Buddha's palm and declared himself returned, demanding that the Jade Emperor yield. The Buddha scolded him for a urine spirit monkey and told him he had never left the hand at all. Wukong protested, swearing he had reached the world's end and left his mark